Hey, today's voice note is gonna be about friendship and mental health. I've lost quite a few friends because of my mental health, and I thought I'd share with you some of those stories. The first friend I lost because of that was a girl I will call the suddenly distant Scorpio. Yeah, astrology again. She was truly my best friend for several years. I kind of felt like we were soulmates in a way. Same hobbies, same weirdly kind of worldwide culture, same love for comedy, pop culture. We would talk for hours over the phone, and she was there for me during one of the first nights my dark thoughts really scared me. She was actually there during the period I got sick, really, when my depression really started. And as months went by, my depression got too heavy for her. The way I was scared of losing her and another friend we had in common made her feel like I didn't believe her when she told me she was my friend, when she told me she loved me. And of course, I believed her, or at least I wanted to believe her. But I needed reassurance, because that's also a big part of depression, and also is just who I am. I'm always scared to bother, to take too much space, scared to be secretly hated by everyone. And, well, the sickness did not help that. So, one day, she just stopped talking to me out of the blue. The last time I saw her, I had just reached out to get back a guitar that I had lent her. So I went all the way to Paris and I met her in front of her apartment building. She gave me the guitar back, as well as a birthday gift that she had bought for me months before. I said that her hair looked cute because it was pink and it wasn't the last time I had seen her. And then it was goodbye forever. That was it. Years of friendship, of adventures, concerts, common passion and projects. And it was over in a minute. It really made me sad. But luckily I had made some other friends online. Friends who were there to tell me that Scorpio girl was not a good friend, not a real friend. And those friends, I met them several times. It was not just an online thing. And the two girls that I'll talk about next were part of that friend group that I had. They were really the only friends I had at the time. Things got messy in this group because I had brought into the group at the very beginning of our friendship a girl who was a friend of mine, but then she became more than a friend. And when her and I broke up, it had a huge negative impact on my mental health. And it also had an impact on the friend group, obviously, because it was just the four of us. And now it was 2 friends, 1 ex, and me. So it was a little weird. For this relationship, I had moved out of my country. So the breakup made me really lose everything. And if before that I thought that my depression couldn't get any worse, it turned out it could. And it did get really, really worse after that breakup. I went back to my parents. Now the whole friend group was like I had a distance relationship with them because it was back to an online relationship full time. And it got really ugly. And I guess that's when those 2 friends really showed their real face. So I'm gonna start with the worst one. It's a girl that I'm gonna call the guilt tripper Aries. Honestly, that Aries girl was already the one I liked the least out of the group. I had always found her to be quite boring. And that's just my personal opinion, but that's how it was. But although she was boring, she was a good friend. Or so I thought. The first night of the breakup, when I was really in a crisis, she forced me to sleep at her apartment. I guess she wanted to make sure I wouldn't hurt myself again, but then she used that against me, which makes me realize now that she probably forced me to sleep at hers just to feel better about herself, feel like she was a good friend. And so afterward, when things started going sideways, when I finally moved back to my country and all that, just like that Scorpio girl, the Aries girl did not like and did not understand why I was so insecure about my friendship and why I was always doubting people's love for me, which honestly, as I said before, it's normal when you're depressed. It's something that happens to probably 99% of people who are depressed. But also, considering my girlfriend had just dumped me, and I was back to having friends only online, I think it was really fair for me to wonder if people were really sincere with me and if they really loved me. But anyway, she did not understand any of that. And instead of ghosting me, like the Scorpio girl, she got mad at me. I would say it's such an Aries move, but that's just, my astrology obsessed ass talking. So she sent me lots of angry texts, and she started guilt tripping me over the fact that I was ungrateful because she basically saved my life that night, which wasn't the case. That night, so the night she forced me to sleep at hers. She ended up insulting me too, and she even went as far as insulting my mother. So that's because, long story short, my mother, seeing how miserable I was and how I was crying nonstop because I was living back with them after moving out of my girlfriends. So seeing how bad I was, she asked my ex-girlfriend to tell those friends to back off and to stop torturing me with their text and angry messages. And of course, that Aries monster of a friend did not like that. She thought that I went crying to my mother for help and that it was such a child move. Clearly, she did not understand what depression was, because blaming me like that, insulting me and making fun of me for having a mother who cares about me and who wants me to get better, is just truly the lowest form of petty and mean girl behavior. So once my mother asked for them to back off, she did eventually, or I think I blocked her. Anyway, but just like the rest of the group, she just ended up ghosting me on every social media ever. But that girl I did not miss, honestly. And even like now that years went by, I still to this day, I don't miss her, and I don't think I'll ever forgive her for what she did. And then the last friend from that group, who poorly managed that situation, was a girl I will call the wannabe therapist Taurus. See, we're staying on this astrology theme. That girl was a sweetheart, like truly. She was probably the kindest of the group. But when the Aries was attacking me and my ex was ignoring me, she did something pretty ironic. She ghosted me. So, of course, you're gonna say, well, that's not that terrible, right? Because, I mean, sure, ghosting someone who is in crisis clearly is not the best idea, but when you don't know how to deal with that, with someone in total breakdown, someone who's dangerously depressed, I understand that sometimes stepping back is the best thing to do to avoid making things worse and making like more damage like that Aries girl was doing. But in this specific situation, it was very ironic because you see, this Taurus girl was studying to be a therapist. And as a side job, she was volunteering. Yeah, I think. I don't know how to speak anymore. Anyway, she was working for a mental health hotline. So, you know, I won't say the word because YouTube doesn't like it, but that hotline you're supposed to call when you're in a really bad place mentally and you might do something stupid. You know what I'm talking about? So she was trained to help out people in crisis, trained to find the words to help them calm down and to make sure that they would not do something they will regret. And yet, me being in this exact situation, because of her, that other friend, and my ex, and just because of my mental health, truly, she ghosted me anyway. So of course, me being who I am and being empathic, I guess, I tried to understand and to make sense of it. And I told myself, since I was a close friend of hers, maybe she couldn't do what she was trying to do at that moment because of that. She couldn't distance herself to be professional about it. But deep down, I'm still sad that she'd never helped me in any way. And I'm also actually worried for the people she may have had on the phone at some point, because her response to me at the time was something along the lines of, I'm sorry, I can't be your friend anymore and I cannot help you, bye. Something like that, before blocking me on every social media known to mankind. So, yeah, it is kind of worrying if she just leaves people to die like this, being trained to do the opposite. So yeah, that's the 3 friendship that I lost to mental health. And as you can see, my mental health really ruined my life in many ways. I miss my Scorpio soulmate, and sometimes I also miss my wannabe therapist Taurus, but I do not miss the other one. But those friendships taught me that people who don't stick around when you're at your lowest probably were not that good of a friend to begin with. Which is ironic because that group of friends said that exact same thing about the Scorpio friend. And then they ended up doing the same thing she did, but worse. And I get that it is hard to be close to someone who's sick. It's heavy and you don't know what to do, what to say, how to act. You feel like you're not helping. But for anyone out there who's wondering, that depressed friend just needs reassurance and a sense of normalcy. Act the way you've always acted with them. And if you don't know what to say, you can just be quiet and stay there with them. The idea is to show them that you're here, you are listening. You can try to rationalize their twisted thoughts. You can try to distract them from the darkness, but that's really all it is. There's nothing else you can do, so you should not really torture yourself about that. Because if you find it heavy and hard to deal with someone who's depressed, imagine how they feel living with themselves on a daily basis. I think there is no one on this planet who hates a depressed person more than themselves. And it's really sad to say, but I think it's true. So if you have someone around you, a friend, a family member who is depressed, a loved one, don't question yourself about how to act around them. The only thing you shouldn't do, I guess, is tell them that it's all in their head and things like that. But otherwise, you just have to be who you were before that friend was depressed. It's really that simple. They haven't changed. They're still the same. They're just sick. After those friends ghosted me, I went through the darkest and loneliest time of my life. For a month, I was just a shell of myself, really. And I really thought I wouldn't be here today. So I'm lucky today to have friends again. And I'm lucky to say that those friends haven't ghosted me yet. And I hope they won't. I hope they'll stick around to see me getting better and to see me win against depression one day. I hope you have supportive friends too. If you're fighting against depression, I hope that you know that you're stronger than you know, because you've won every battle so far. if you're still here listening to this, it means you're a winner. You'd keep winning every battle, and you'll keep winning them. Because you're way stronger than you think. And remember that we're in this together. And if you know someone who's depressed, don't forget to reach out, be patient, and remind them that they are loved. On that optimistic note, I'll talk to you next week. Take care. I love you. Bye.